They follow
That's
me and they're like,
awesome.
"Oh, you post stuff about lore."
That's awesome. It's nice to have a reputation. Well, I think we're live. It's not sure yet. Oh, oh. Hey, yeah, we are definitely
Are
live.
we?
We are live. Oh.
Yep,
All
live.
right.
Definitely live.
Well, welcome all of our currently non existent viewers to the Towers Watch for week 2 of the Book of Sorrows, subsequently verse 2. It's going to be exciting and depressing. Mostly depressing.
And creepy.
Yeah, that's what I've learned, is that most of this is going to be depressing and creepy. And exciting, in a sense. Oh, where
I
should
need a
we?
bucket for all those tears.
Yeah,
Hand
where
out some
should we?
Kleenex.
Where should we go and sit for this one?
Dreadnought?
The Dreadnought? I would have to promote you to
I
leader,
haven't actually
because
been to the Dreadnought today.
my poor Titan can't take us to the Dreadnought, so I'm going to have to promote you real
Aw.
fast.
Baby Titan.
Yeah, my poor neglected Titan can't go to the Dreadnought. He's not big enough. There we go. Oh.
Don't you
So-
need to do like one of the quests in the storyline to be able to go to the Dreadnought?
Yeah, there's one of the I haven't done like the second mission in the storyline or something. I don't know. I don't remember which
That would
one I
be
need to do. Yep, it's sad. It's embarrassing. I'll admit it. I've neglected my Titan pretty hurtfully. So before we get to this whole hive thing, I was talking with a couple friends of mine, and we just had this entertaining, discussion. What do we consider exos? Are exos considered people or considered robots?
They're considered to be people, largely. He's still
Oh, you're-
really
you're
humans.
cutting
They're
out a bit
still
there.
ultimately machines. But for the large part, the tower reckons people, sapient beings.
That's interesting. It's just, like, I'm not, anti-exo or anything. It's just kind of interesting that they're very much robots in many respects. But, they have their
Oh,
feelings and
I was,
everything, and so it's just
Yeah. I was reading, because I got the physical collector's edition, I was reading Cade's memoirs, and he actually writes down a memory that he has about Dr. Maya Sundares actually totally blanking him because he's not a human being. And
Interesting.
he was tasked with being her bodyguard, which I found quite interesting.
huh.
And he had a thing for her. It's like, oh, I love her, but she'll never notice me because I'm not a human. It was really sad.
Yeah, that's just it's fascinating. Like I would hate to be an exo. None of my characters are exos. The
I'm an
fact
exo.
that they were
Hello.
oh, you're the exo. Oh well, that's awkward. I'm over here sounding like the strangely racist human
You're
Titan.
not really a person. Get out.
No, we're
We
gonna have to.
don't serve exos in this bar.
Yeah, we're gonna take it to the we're gonna take it to the Crucible if that's what this boils down to. That's what we'll have to do. But no, it was an interesting conversation. Just the kind of the semantics of having a robotic species like the Exos. It's interesting.
I'm so confused.
I don't know. We were just
This
kind
is the
of
wrong way.
like sit down somewhere, weren't we? Or I don't know. Let's drift
Thought
over
we were
here.
going to go sit in front of Saturn or something.
Oh, we could go. It is a nice view. Saturn's a great view. Is it that way? I thought it was the other way.
I don't know. How about we meet in the middle?
Okay, that
See who
works.
gets there first.
Oh, you were going the right way.
I was. Ha!
I'm a Titan. I'm not good with directions. They just kind of point and I go smash things. We don't get out of the city that often,
Always on the wall. I always have to remember which way it is.
Hello
Never
to our 3
remember.
viewers. I know you're not in our
3
chat yet,
viewers.
but hi. It's nice
One
to
of
have
them's
you all.
probably me.
Well, I exclude you from the people I said hi to then. Sorry.
Aww.
I already said hi to you. What? I always get panicked when Ghost makes that noise. You know, that I can scan something noise, and then he doesn't.
Like, look at this now. Look at
Yep.
this pebble on the floor, and you're like, I can't see it.
Yep, yep. And then you just spin in circles like a madman with Ghost staring at you. Yep.
If you bring Ghost out when he makes that noise, he actually looks towards the thing.
Does he?
Like his eye moves to what he wants you to scan. It's pretty
Interesting.
Cool. Here's our beautiful view.
Yes, of a massive amount of dead awoken. What's out over on this platform? I like this cropped out platform. Landing zone. I'm sort of disappointed there's no rubble of Eris's ship, you know? Like, I feel like it should be there.
Evaporated.
Yeah. Oh, I have this dance because I'm a Titan. Okay, yeah, I should sit. I should not let my feet do that. Don't want to scare off all the viewers. Okay, so we should probably get started on this whole hive thing, shouldn't we? Let's
Definitely.
see here. I think I'm going to start by rereading verse 2:0 just to
Just to recap.
yeah, get us back on track. So this is verse 2:0, Immortals, from the it's the Book of Sorrows from the Calcified Fragment Grimoire, in case you weren't aware of where we got all these. We're not making this up, it's canon stuff. We are the worm, your god, the flesh of hope. Our compact is done. You are Aurash eternal, and we are bound to you, as close as your appetites, as your loves or needs, as the weapon in your fists and the word in your throat. We've had enough of this dismal place, haven't you? We are integrating your ship with larvae. Go back to your species. Spread the good news in the osmium court, in the hydrogen fountain, in the bone plaza, and the star surgery. You will rise up into the world. If anyone rejects symbiosis with our children, make an example of them. A mighty wave is coming for them all. They die anyway. Save only what can be saved. The worm grants you power over your own flesh, Aurash. When you've taken the king morph, what will your adult name be? Aurix. It means long thought. We approve. And thus Oryx was born from Aurash. And everything went downhill. Such a terrible, terrible turn of events.
Kind of a bad move on his part, wasn't it?
Yeah, bad move.
Let's go
Aurash.
in with a worm that we don't understand.
Yep. But as we know, it's the Ahamkara with all their terrifying, terrifying power. Oh, so.
I think that blew a lot of people's minds last week. A lot of people were writing into me saying, is this real? Is this a thing? I'm like, yeah, we're not making it up. It's a thing.
I still haven't gotten my brains off of the wall. Like, I haven't been able to
Still
clean it
scraping
up.
off there.
Yeah, it's a mess. Still working on that. Alright, so that's where we left off last week, is we had covered the birth, rather, of the hive, and dropped that lovely, terrifying fact on everyone that Aurash became Aurix, and technically we killed one of the very first hive in this mission. One of 3. So this next verse kind of follows mostly their plight out into space. I'm going to read the next 2 sections of this verse, which kind of cover introductions of the Sisters of Aurash and who they become. So I'm going to do that real fast. First is 2:1, Conquerors. Savathun, Mother Morph of Sithona, we delight in your sharp mind. For millions of years the Leviathan caged us here. It is a pawn of the sky, a philosophy of cosmic slavery. The sky seeds civilizations predicated on a terrible lie, that right actions can prevent suffering, that pockets of artificial rules can defy the final beautiful logic. This is like trying to burn water, antithetical to the nature of reality, where deprivation and competition are universal. In the deep, we enslave nothing. Liberation is our passion. We exist to help the universe achieve its terminal, self-forging glory. The war rages on. Soon it will consume Fundament. We are pleased with your use of our larvae to create mighty knights and plentiful warriors. Teox's retreat to the hydrogen fountain proves your superior strength. But you must know that reclaiming your home is not enough. There are 511 species living on Fundament. One of them must have the technology you need to leave this world. Followed by 2-2 out of the deep. Xivu Arath, Nightmorph of Zyro. You love to conquer, don't you? We love to see you work. Nearly 2% of Fundament's surface is now our dominion. Your species embraces the worm. The syzygy has passed. The God Wave will reach you in less than 2 years. Our organs informs us that Teox and her surviving refusalists flee towards Kaharn Atoll. She hopes to rally the species of Fundament against you. The Leviathan's agents work tirelessly to destroy ships and engines, trapping us on Fundament. But if we cannot make ships, we will become them. Overwhelm the Kaharn Bastion, slaughter everyone there. From your axe we shall obtain the logic where you require to cut space open and migrate to orbit. Reality is a fine flesh, O General ours. Let us feast of it. Which, fun fact about that little last line is, I wish I would have brought my Warlock in my helmet, but the Ahamkara helmet for Warlocks, its flavor text is reality is finest flesh, O bearer mine. And then, like, let us feast or something, yeah. So there's that neat fact for you. Just another clear indicator that these are the Ahamkara they were dealing with. Yep. It's almost the exact same phrase. And I was reading 2.1, and it's kind of creepy that the Ahamkara perpetuate this idea of war being eternal and it being the answer. And it kind of disturbs me that the Future War cult has an identical philosophy.
I knew this would come up somewhere.
Well,
Someone would notice it.
Well, it's just like, I mean, there's the subtle difference of they believe that war is inevitable and it's always going to be there. But ultimately, it's the same base philosophy that the answer is war. Like, that's it.
I think the only thing that separates those two different ideologies of belief is the fact that, like you say, the Future War cult believe that war is inevitable. Nothing you can do, no matter how good your intentions, will prevent conflict. Whereas the Hive seem to relish conflict, believing that it is the only good and right, morally right force in the universe.
That's true.
They
That's
enjoy
true.
war.
Or they believe it's the only way to equalize the
To
world
exist.
even. Yeah. Existence is the struggle to exist.
Exactly. I think that's the thing that separates those two things.
That's true. Still, I just,
They're scarily similar.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, we have the references to the machine that the Future War cult uses to see the future, and it makes me wonder if there's something, well, Ahamkara about it.
Well, the Ahamkara gave the Guardians in the City much power in their deals before the
That's
Great
true.
Ahamkara Hunt, where they were apparently put to extinction.
Well, purportedly.
So maybe.
Here's a fun little snippet of lore. I wish I had the item on me, but do you have the Ahamkara scale relic by chance?
Oh, I did, but I deleted it.
Oh, it says its flavor
this
text
is
I think
funny,
is
yeah.
it's ha, that warlock thought I couldn't do it, or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's just a straight reference to the Grimoire card Warlock, where this Warlock holding a piece of an Ahamkara, like one of their fossils, tells a hunter that she wouldn't be able to kill an Ahamkara and she's not powerful enough. And then he regrets it because he feels that he just sent her to her death, which he apparently didn't, which, darn hunters and their pretentiousness being successful. But it's just interesting that they brought that little tie-in back around. Do we have any questions just here early on? Anything that people need clarified from either from last week or just in these first 3 verses here? Okay.
Silence.
Yep. Then we will move on to verse 2, part 3, Into the Sky. You've done well, Aurix. Can you feel the growth of your worm? Can you feel your will beginning to warp mere law? At times, we detect sadness in you. Understand, long thinker, that you enact a sacred and majestic task. Existence is the struggle to exist. Only by playing that game to its final, unconditional victory can we complete the universe. Your war is divine work. We are free from Fundament's core, and Savathun's cutters are ready to fly. With Xivu Arath victorious, we have opened a wound at Kaharn, a wound leading to geostationary orbit. Behold, we are faithful to our covenant. We have no future on Fundament, but her moons will make fine habitats. Let us rise.
Thus they escaped.
Yeah, they left the Fundament to be destroyed by the terrible, terrible God Wave. And you see this presentation of death equaling the obtainment of logic, and logic being the means by which they control things. Which we get some of an explanation on that a little bit later. But the wounds, it's an interesting thing. The wounds are the very same kind of thing that you see their tomb ships come out of. Is that it's the Hive literally just like cutting open reality, just carving this grotesque hole in it and traveling through it.
How they're able to travel through dimensions quickly, like you say, their tomb ships appear out of nowhere, seemingly exactly the right time to ambush you.
Yep.
This is also the means by which Ascendant Hive cut wounds in the world and step into their own realms, their nether realms. Which is quite interesting.
So they're just
we've got genocidal aliens that can sidestep through dimensions. That's not a thing.
And subvert reality to their will. Which, the kind of law that they're warping, like they are warping conceptual laws, like the ideas of death. That, death is a concept that we understand, but the Hive can warp it, and that's disturbing.
Very.
So in this section of verse, we see them escaping the Fundament via one of their tears in reality. Which, now they're going to go pillage 52 moons.
Do you need any more moons?
Well, 52 and 1, as verse 2:4 is titled. Good news. The 52 moons of Fundament host a starfaring civilization far more sophisticated than anything you've encountered so far. Teox's ship fled towards the large ice moon, where a species of bony six-armed cephalopods keep their icy capital. Savathun's named them the Ammonite. They seem eager to grant Teox asylum. Idiots. We tried appealing to their hopes and dreams. This was largely unsuccessful because they're basically already happy and indoctrinated. This angered us, so we've devised a plan. Our organs detect a 53rd moon in orbit of Fundament. A traveler. Divine presence of the sky. Now we know what arranged the syzygy. You'll have to kill them all and take their stuff. Once the Ammonite are out of the way, we can deal with the traveler. Do not hesitate. You're fighting the hypocritical puppets of a cosmic parasite. Avenge your ancestors.
That particular one.
Oh my goodness gracious.
There are several things in here that I find really interesting, particularly that they call the traveler a divine presence, and the use of the word divine indicates that they view the traveler as a rival with equal power, a god just like them. They don't view it as a lesser entity or being. It has the same metaphysical powers that they do, but it serves the sky rather than the deep as they do. Also, they tried to use the Ammonite in the same way that they used the Krill, but failed the first time because of the Travelers' intervention in the start of their golden age.
It's
Interesting that
fascinating.
they reached out to one species first.
Yeah,
The Krill weren't their first choice.
that is true. I had taken that to mean that they had they tried it and during that encounter, but interesting.
That was the way I read it, at least.
I don't know. It works either way, interestingly. But yeah, they acknowledge the traveler's power and presence as something that is good and equally capable. You have to kill them all and take their stuff. You have to kill them all and take their stuff. I like that line. It's just like
that's pretty much the logic that underpins any video game. Kill them and take their stuff.
yeah, it's all of a sudden it's Diablo 3.
They're breaking the fourth wall here.
Yep. Oh. So, and I find it interesting in the Book of Sorrows, we see this constant interplay of sky and deep and these massive, powerful interplaying forces. And then we have us just kind of stuffed into the middle, like people, like us and the Fallen and the Cabal. We don't really fit in this war. We're just kind of caught up in it, which is just interesting to me. Because obviously the sky and the deep represent higher powers than what we are aware of.
I don't think we could ever truly understand them if we did know what they were. I don't think the Hive truly understand what the deep is either.
Oh no, they just...
Something that the worm god seemed to conceal from them.
They just wanted to be powerful and immortal. So, alright, we'll move on to 2-5. Born as prey. This is unacceptable. Are you so weak, born as prey and doomed to die by predator? Aurix's failure of resolve led us to catastrophe. The Ammonite fleets under Chroma Admiral Rafrit have pressed us back to the sixth moon. Once more we find ourselves burrowing into a world's core to survive. Savathun, you must draw Aurix out of his catatonia. Make him understand that the ideals of peace and stability he clings to are cancers, brutal, unjust obstacles between us and the fair cosmos. These are the bait stars the sky uses to blind its slaves. War is the natural rectification of inequality, the universe's way of pursuing equilibrium. Xivu Arath, you cannot defeat the Ammonites and Teox in line combat. We propose new tactics. Breed your armies back to strength and find a way to disperse the broods across these many moons. If we cannot defeat their strengths, we will infect their weaknesses.
I love this card for so many reasons. Just the humanizing element of the fact that in his heart at the moment, Aurix is still a good person. He believes in the ideals of peace and stability for his people, you know? And these ideals cause his people to suffer an extreme loss in battle against the Ammonite, which obviously angers his masters greatly. He believes in things that they believe to be a lie, a toxic parasite within the fundament of the universe. Their ideal that the universe is a world where death and entropy are the masters of existence. And yet he believes in an artificial law of peace and stability. I find that amazing, even after everything that he's gone through, the transition from this girl who was trying to avenge her father and save her people into this king, this god king. It's so humanizing.
I've wondered You know, I kind of wonder if Oryx's taking of creatures was his way of not killing everything.
Yeah, I
But
thought
to
of this as
conquer.
well.
You know, because like he has the opportunity to destroy all their leaders, all of these leaders that he's taken. You know, we get the cutscene, but always diverts to taking it. And frankly, if Oryx had wanted to just besiege us, planting his ship beside our planet and launching his death wave probably would have done the trick. We obviously didn't have the firepower to do anything if he were to try that tactic, but he wanted to take everything, not just obliterate it. Which is just
This makes me
interesting.
feel like he's trying to offer a chance of redemption, a chance of living in service to creating the final perfect shape of the universe, rather than just being eradicated from it, never being able to recognize your potential and your place within the universe.
Exactly.
His logic is completely flawed by our standards, but there is something human there, I believe.
Rather something
Yeah.
krill, I suppose.
Yeah, human
But-
for lack of a better word.
I think, you know, it's interesting. We kill Skolas, and now we kill Oryx. And both of them were the only two that seemed to have potential for creating something akin to peace from their species. Which is just perturbing, to say the least.
It is, definitely.
I'm still an advocate for the
Glad someone
Traveler as a good
noticed
guy,
that.
but I find that perturbing. Oh.
Morality has many shades of grey.
Huh. Alright, verse 2:6, the sword logic. At last, we knew curiosity would draw you back, Aurix. In their desperation, the Ammonite had begun using paracausal weapons. What are these? How do they work? Wouldn't you like to know? Suffice to say that some powers in this universe are superordinate to mere material physics. The source of these weapons is the Traveler, the sky's bait star. Their effect is subtle but devastating. But you are armed to respond in kind. Savathun's mothers have listened carefully to our teachings. We will not give you the deep, King Aurix. That power is for us, your gods. But we will teach you to call upon that force with signs and rituals. Small minds might call it magic. You are no longer bound by causal closure. Your will defeats law. Kill 100 of your children with a long blade, Aurix, and observe the change in the blade. Observe how the universe shrinks from you in terror. Your existence begins to define itself. Of course, High Aurix, we knew it was not curiosity alone that brought you back to the war. You felt your own death growing inside you. You must obey your nature. Your worm must feed. Oh, poor
Oh, dear.
Aurix.
I just find it interesting that he actually he leaves,
Well, he-
despite the fact that he has this creature within him that requires him to obey his masters and obey his own nature, as they put it, within him. He left because he didn't agree, at least
He-
for a time.
Desperately wanted to leave, at the very least. But couldn't.
I doubt his return is a willing return in any case.
Well, to some degree it is, since they say that curiosity drew him back. I mean, obviously it was largely that without obeying that curiosity he would die, but we lost Lao. Oh no. We lost her. Well, since we don't have Lao for a moment, I will throw hammers in the distance and see if I can hit things. There's a rock out there. Oh, I didn't hit the rock.
I got removed from my fire team, apparently.
Oh, well. I decided to try and
Anyway,
entertain the
you were
viewers
saying.
by throwing hammers into the distance.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I'm not a very good shot. I didn't hit anything out there.
It's too far away.
Indeed, I missed. I don't remember where was I? It was that I think that Oryx's return was the part of it that was, unwilling, was that if he didn't, he would have died or been possessed by his worm. And I think that's more of what prompted him to come back than anything else, was that desire to live that is as deep-seated in the three of them as anything could be.
Exactly, yeah. I find it interesting that they talk about these weapons that the Ammonite are using that have been gifted by the Traveler. I mean, part of me wants to believe that that's light weaponized, the same way that we Guardians use the light as a weapon.
That would make sense.
That was the truth.
That would make sense, because they're... Let me just pull it back up here.
They're weapons, or a weapon that does not obey the laws
Yeah,
and physics of the material world.
Paracausal weapons, yeah, they would make sense that would be the light, because obviously it doesn't make sense that I can forge a hammer of flames that explodes out of nothing.
Exactly.
That doesn't really work in the universe. So, do we have any questions, chat? And you guys have been quiet today. We're gonna run short because we don't have anything to answer.
Yeah, everyone's. What's everyone doing? Eating Sunday roast today, or?
I guess it feels
Something.
like we might have a kind of light crowd. Oh, that's not mapped. That's not a mapped object. Oh no. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
I tried that, to walk out on the edge of that stick, and I learned the hard way that that's not mapped.
We are now on. Let's see here.
Which card are we on?
We are on verse
See,
2:7,
someone was just eating.
the weakness
Oh, Crisis
verse.
was eating.
Oh, that
I
explains
called
it. It's the weakness verse. Do you know what? I don't know what grimoire card the weakness verse is, but if you pull up the Book of Sorrows and you have it, it should just say verse 2:7, the weakness verse, XVII. So I am using an external source to read all these because it presents them all in a one-by-one fashion, so it makes my life a little easier for the reading bit.
Oh, that dance.
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
I love the description of it. It's a smash hit.
Yep. Oh, man. They just went crazy with the puns there. Well, it looks like we don't have any other questions, so it's time for verse 2:7, the weakness verse. You are dead, young Aurix, betrayed and murdered by your own sister for the crime of mercy. Remember what you said to the Ammonite Satellite Congress? We will parley on neutral ground. Savathun's witches have rendered it utterly neutral. No living thing will ever claim it again. The space around the dry moon stinks of rot. This is good. This is right. You will learn from this. Don't you understand, Great King? Don't you want to build something real? Something that lasts forever? Our universe gutters down towards cold entropy. Life is an engine that burns up energy and produces decay. Life builds selfish, stupid rules. Morality is one of them, and the sanctity of life is another. These rules are impediments to the great work, the work of building a perfect, undying creation, a civilization everlasting, something that cannot end. If a civilization cannot defend itself, it must be annihilated. If a king cannot hold his power, he must be betrayed. The worth of a thing can be determined only by one beautiful arbiter, that thing's ability to exist, to go on existing, to remake existence to suit its survival. All that would oppose this arbiter is unholy and false. All the misery and terror of your ancestors springs from the lies of the sky, who deny this truth. Your ancestors endured the most hostile conditions, and now you must go on creating those conditions, even unto your sisters, even unto your offspring. Savathun's betrayal is the greatest gift she could offer you. Your body is gone, but you have endured, safe in the Sist universe created by your own might, your throne world. From this day forward, Alrix, you and your sisters will each survive death, so long as you aren't killed in your own throne. Even as your sisters press the attack against the Ammonites, the God Wave devastates Fundament. Trillions will die, but the survivors will never forget, and their descendants will always be ready for another syzygy. When you return to the material universe, use this lesson to complete your work. Teox wasn't on the dry moon. She must be laughing at you.
Damn, getting murdered by your own sister. That's rough.
Yep. That'll really sour up your day real quick.
Again, I think it's his ideals of peace and stability, as we see he offers to parlay on neutral terms with the enemy, and this ideal of peace and stability that he still clings to, I believe that is what turned Savathun against him, because she seems to be a zealot, a complete zealot when it comes to the teachings of her new masters. She was the one who urged her and her sisters to sign the covenant, to take the worm into themselves.
Yep, and she was the one who had the worm from the start, right? So I mean,
Exactly,
she's
yeah.
been getting possessed for far longer, years longer. And
It's
yeah,
far more easy to manipulate.
Elf Crisis, at least your sister didn't tell you to let an evil worm climb inside of you and turn you into an immortal evil hive king and then kill you. I feel like if your sister hasn't done that, you're doing pretty good in life, right? Oh man.
It's interesting here that it mentions again, his body is gone, but his soul is safe in his sister world, the nether worlds that I was talking about earlier, created by his might. The ability that they earned through slaughter and battles had cut open these dimensions and the fabric of the universe, holes in the fabric. And that is why in the Crota raid we had to go into Crota's netherworld to kill him before his soul could materialize in our world. You could have killed him as many times as you wanted to on the moon, in the physical world, but he'd just keep coming back.
And being stronger every single time.
Exactly.
So, that's lovely. Oh. Verse 2:8, Leviathan rises. The Leviathan has broken cover. The old priest is in open space moving towards the Ammonite home moon. Cromwell, Admiral Raffreit, and his elite guard move with it. Raffreit is the hero of his generation, an Ammonite of peerless battlecraft. He's danced circles around Xivu Arath, but now he has to protect his holy Leviathan. We'll give the old lunk a word. And then I believe this is the Leviathan talking in this part, but it isn't very clear, but it uses the same speech design as was previously used by the Leviathan. So, and it insinuates by all means that it's the Leviathan talking, so. Ruin, grief and ruin, the Krill lost, the Ammonite ravaged, our traveler's work undone. Sisters of Aurash, open your eyes. Who made you monsters? Who summoned the wave? Make peace, join with me and Golden Renewer. In counter-argument, Aurix, we ask you this. What has the Leviathan done for your people? Who gave you immortality and led you out of your prison? Who answers your questions about the universe with truth instead of sermons? Find Deir Tente with Savathun. Crush the Chroma Admiral, boil the Ammonite seas, and slaughter the Leviathan with witchcraft. Once the way is open, we'll show you how to eat the Traveler. Yay! Happy verse!
Happy. I find it interesting that even now, after every crime, every abomination that the Hive committed, the Leviathan still offers redemption.
Yeah.
How many things would offer redemption after such heinous crimes against everything in existence?
Yeah. It
seems to genuinely lament what has happened to them.
It's in part the Leviathan's fault. If the Leviathan had acted, it probably could have stopped everything outright. I mean, in theory, it could have physically prevented them from going deeper. It's not like the Krill were strong.
Exactly. Could have destroyed their needle ship and killed them, and then none of this would have happened.
Or simply forced them back up to the surface.
Exactly.
So.
But he let them pass. Or it. We don't know if it's a he.
True.
Also interesting that it refers to the Leviathan as a priest of the Traveler.
Yeah,
The Traveler having priests before.
Well, we've heard of one now, and it's dead.
It's very dead.
Very, very dead. Oh.
Oh, we have a question.
We get some of that. We get to hear about some of the races that the Traveler helped, but I imagine there are a lot that it left because they were sufficiently built up and prepared after their golden age. But I don't know. There you go. The Leviathan is the speaker. The speaker is our Leviathan.
Interesting, the word Leviathan implies something that is incredibly large, and the speaker's kind of small. But
maybe his light is incredibly large.
That is true. He's the one most in sync with the light.
Exactly. Maybe his light is vast. That could do it, couldn't it?
Either that or he's been on a serious diet.
There you go. Let's see here. Well, let's just read this one. This one kind of touches on your question, Alf. This is the last part of verse 2. Crusaders. It's done. Air and Yule feed on the Leviathan's carcass. Xivu Arath has made a temple of the Chroma Admiral's impaled corpse. Below us, Savathun's poison stain the Ammonite home sea black. Their screams flavor the void. The Traveler has fled. Do you understand, Aurix? Do you thrill at the secret, Savathun? Do you relish the edge of this truth, Xivu Arath? Do you see the beautiful shape? The Ammonite occupied a piece of reality. They rented their existence on fraudulent terms, making themselves happy and fat, fencing themselves in soft lies and sweet apocrypha, saying, "We are peaceful and good, we harm nothing." Their golden age was a cancer. They did nothing to advance the cause of life. They burnt up time and matter and thought on this solipsistic onanastic pursuit of safety, insulating themselves from death, making a regressive pocket of useless stability. when they could have helped whittle the universe towards its final, perfect form. And your people, suffering in the deep, you became more worthy of existence than the Ammonite. You have proven it. Look around the sky, behold the great divide, the battle lines of the cosmic war. We are the worm, your god, but we are not the deep itself. We only move within it. You shall too. You shall venerate and study it, and haunt it in its passage. Will you lift your thoughts to the millennia, Alrix? Will you bend your will to the liberation of the universe and join us in the war against the sky? We need champions, crusaders. Help us save the universe. Help us exterminate that which would destroy all hope. You are oath-bound to this task by the covenant of the worm. And you are oath-bound to kill Teox, wherever she's hidden herself.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
Yep.
I think the one thing that I really made notes on from this particular thing was the fact that the worm gods say that they are not the deep itself, but they move within it.
Yeah. Yep, that's fascinating. They are just one of the many, presumably many facets of, oh, we lost Lao again. Well, I've got hammers. Wow. Any questions that I can field before we get Lao back? Like I can get us started on him, or anything anybody wants to know? Hello to Nitrosity. Thank you for joining us, and thank you all for being here. I know a lot of people are still busy with their Taken King business, but we appreciate everyone who takes the time to come out and join us for our lore streams. Oh. I think they are one of many agents of the darkness. In the sense that the darkness, theoretically has these agents, but understanding that the darkness is very, very possibly just a name that we have for this evil, and not necessarily what it calls itself. Obviously, it refers to itself as the deep. And so, from that perspective, they sort of state themselves as agents of the deep. It's interesting, the semantics of it.
I'm alive.
Welcome back again. It just really doesn't like.
Caterpillar error.
Ugh.
Yeah.
They really should have.
It gave me a caterpillar error.
They really should have just straight up named it Worm. That would have been more entertaining.
Worm. Oh, first death of the stream.
Oh, second
death.
Yep.
Second, and they were all easy. Anyway,
Yeah.
what was the thing? Oh yeah, the deep.
Yeah.
The fact that they mentioned that they are not the deep; they just move within it, which
Yeah.
implies they are not the actual darkness, just an aspect of it. So there could be something even more terrifying than them, which is an extremely disturbing thought.
Well, given that the Ahamkara only manipulate other things, really, the fact that there's probably something out there that's as powerful as they are all on its own is perturbing. Velociraptor, I'm not sure on that. I mean, we're kind of going through this whole Book
There
of
is a
Stars
card
things one at a
about
time.
There is a card about how Oryx receives the taken power.
Okay,
if
okay,
I
cool.
recall correctly. But it's much later on.
Yeah, well, so we'll get there and we'll talk about it, but you know that your question will be answered there. So, let's see
I agree
here.
with what Elf is saying, how it's almost like a personification of the entropy of the universe. That's entropy seems to be a recurring theme in this storyline, this particular part of the grimoire.
That's true. That's very true.
As I said before, the Hive are just extreme Darwinists. Survival of the fittest.
Well, you know, from what we get in this story, it seems like the Sky had won some amount of this grand battle. The Sky had had a great victory and had sealed away these worms and had made incredible progress. And then the Ahamkara manipulated the Krill and broke free and struck out at the Sky while it was weak. And I feel like really, yeah, we are looking at really the beginning, the restart of this monstrous struggle that we don't even understand the surface layers of. And the Hive are, yeah, they're just one section of all of it.
I think it's the Raid Warlock Bonds that has a quote on it that says, "You are not the first hero, nor Oryx the first villain to battle in this place."
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Again, goes back into the theme of timelines recurring and themes recurring, light against dark being an endless struggle that's been going on for time immemorial. There's these little hints of this cyclical nature of this war.
Yeah. Yeah, they have in fact given themselves the role of natural selection. That is, if it doesn't have the will and power to exist, then it shouldn't.
No one should have that power.
Okay.
Oh, hammers.
I just wanted to, you know. I just wanted to get my hammer out. Just, you know.
Why not?
It just bothers me to have the supercharging thing glowing there, you know?
Well, consider there's simmering flames on the side.
Oh, I almost hit that rock.
Let's see if I can hit anything. Going. Oh, I missed a catch. I'm gonna hit a rock. I hit a rock. There, look, see?
Oh, hey.
That one over there.
Yeah. Look at that. I wonder if there's anything else. Like, I wonder if I had a rocket launcher, if I could defect things out there, like if it would explode on them. This is not very focused of us.
This isn't really lore, is it?
No. Oh. Okay, here, I'll read, I'm actually gonna read the next piece, the first part of verse 3 here, which is subtly titled Hive. So this is verse 3:0, Hive. Let us speak of the terrible beauty of becoming ourselves. In the beginning we rode hollow moons from star to star. Aurix said, "Become as numerous and fertile as seeds in rich flesh," and thus we did become numerous. Xivu Arath said, "Become as hungry and defiant as tumors in rich flesh," and thus we became cancerous. Savathun said, "Drink of the poisons of the worm, so that you might feed on death," and we did feed. This was preparation for our crusade. Aya, we were thus becoming. A mother wizard gets fertility from a mate or from herself. From the wizard, the spawn. From the spawn, our thrall. From the survivors, our acolytes who contend. If they contend well, their worm is fed. And from the well-fed worm come knights and wizards and princes. This is us, and our purpose is liberation. Our great task is the worship and admiration of freedom. Our great hunger is to pursue and eat that which is not free, and to liberate it with devouring. Hayat, this is us. We, the Hive.
I'm
Yep.
not gonna sleep tonight.
Yeah. Thus is the Hive.
As we know them.
Yes. Terrifying and horrible and dark.
Very dark.
And honestly, you know, in light of the amount of Ayat, it has to be a Hive word, one of their runes or symbols or something. I would assume it to be a form of, like, celebration, I guess. I can't really say for positive, you know, not being a Hive and all. But
I think
that
there's
would be my
actually a
gander.
card where most of the words are just that word.
Really?
Ayat. Yeah.
Must be
Like
some
Elle
sort of
said,
cheer.
Sounds like something from Cthulhu.
That definitely seems like some sort of cheer or something, or exclamation. Amen. It could be akin to that. Particularly since amen was just meant as it is done, or it is so.
Make it so.
We are on the Dreadnought. Back where you actually first arrive in the first mission. Hey, that's a calcified fragment. Hello.
Didn't you know one was there? Oh, I
I've-
pointed it
I,
out. if you didn't.
I didn't. I haven't gone on my calcified fragments on, really.
I've got 41 out of
Yeah, no,
50.
I think it's heck yeah. It's heck yeah for the Hive.
Heck
Ayat.
yeah.
Yep. That's what it is.
You should go back and read that and put heck yeah in instead.
Let's just see here. Let's just... Let's see here. Where is it?
Oh god, he's doing
This is us, and our purpose is liberation. Our great task is the worship and admiration of freedom. Our great hunger is to pursue and eat that which is not free, and to liberate it with devouring. Heck yeah! This is us. We, the Hive.
Oh my god.
It feels so wrong. It feels so wrong.
I love it. I love it.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, if we do we have any other questions tonight, guys?
Nothing's gonna top that.
I
Nothing.
Oh man. You ever been killed by someone with this in the Crucible? It's painful.
I kill people with it in the Crucible.
It's so obnoxious. Just like
Most of the time I do it by mistake, it's like, oh, heavy, and then I realise there's nothing actually in the ice cream cone. It's just an ice cream cone, but I
Yeah.
can still bash someone's skull in with it.
can bash people with the ice cream cone. Well, it seems like we don't have any questions, so it's been awesome having you all. I know we're calling it a little short tonight, but we would go really long if we did 2 verses at a time. So thank you all for being here. If you aren't following the Safe Gamers channel, then you definitely should follow it. We do a lot of other really cool streams. There's a lot of great streamers on the Safe Gamers channel. If you're not going to follow us, then you should head over to the Dames of Destiny channel and follow them, because they're also awesome. Lau here is a representation of that.
Hello.
We don't have any other streams tonight, but there's stuff all throughout of the week. So make sure to follow, to show up for the other streams. And yeah, come back for next week, where we will pursue verse 3 and continue learning about the Hive and from whence they came and what they are, as disturbing as it is. Thank you all again. This is the Towers Watch signing off. I can't turn to my camera. I don't know how to. I'll wave to the distance. Oh wait, if I turn it fast enough, I'll wave to the camera. Yeah, there we go.
Bye, stream.